What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I'm just having a blast over here growing the YouTube channel, spreading some knowledge. And, I find it fun in order to talk about stuff like this. Like today, I wrote all this stuff out. So what I have here is a whole list of embedded commands that you can use within a sales call. If you're a wedding DJ or basically, any type of DJ, but mostly for a wedding DJ, we're on the phone with an engaged couple, and maybe not everybody, who's a DJ understands what embedded commands are. So before we get into that, if you guys are interested in learning how I grew my company, I have a whole class, a free class on www.coachscottking.com. Learn how I grew my business. And also, if you guys want to join the Facebook group and learn and grow as well, more than welcome to do so. So many different things to cover as far as like a sales process and how all that stuff works. Today, embedded commands. So what are embedded commands? So in the context of neuro-linguistic programming, which is what I studied for many years, embedded commands are a logistic technique used to communicate suggestions to a person's unconscious mind in a subtle and indirect manner. These commands are embedded within a large sentence or conversation, making them less noticeable to the conscious mind while still influencing the listener's thoughts or behaviors on a subconscious level. Embedded commands are often used to facilitate persuasion, influence, or personal change. So before I read the second paragraph, here's the deal, right? When you first meet with somebody, they have like their guards up. Like even if you were to think about yourself when you talk to somebody or for the first time, or if you have your spidey sense, right? Oh, that's a salesperson. I'm going to have my guard up because I don't know what they're about or what they're doing or what's going on. So basically this channel right here is to help you, break down exactly what's going on so that you can have win-win situations whenever you're dealing with something that doesn't quite work. So back to embedded commands, right? So, as a salesperson that just, going straight in for the kill is not going to, be the best way to go about things because, that person's got their guard up, it's kind of like, oh, let's have coffee first. Let's figure this out. Let's, chit chat, get to know each other a little bit better. And what are some things that you could say within that conversation to kind of like loosen, break the ice, right? And, get them to feel more comfortable about you. And then, of course, the whole goal, because you run a business, is to, have signed contracts, because without signed contracts, then, you don't have a business, right? So just, keep that in mind when you meet people for the first time. They have their own thoughts, their own opinions, and if you're meeting somebody who's already kind of like warm, like maybe they saw you saw some of your social media and they really liked it, or they were at an event that you did and they already kind of like know they want to go with you. So that's way easier. Like the referral game, that's way easier. I'm talking about people that have no idea who you are. They kind of barely connect your name with whatever your service is. So what are some things that you can do to like, say, in order to get a signed contract, or, at least break past a few of those barriers that could be up. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I first started doing sales, I thought you just put the piece of paper down, they signed it, and then went away, because I mostly worked for other talent agencies, and I, never really did a lot of the sales part. In fact, most of the people that I worked for were like the narcissistic personality type, and I consider those people to be pretty fake. So I figured I had to be fake in order to, make a sale happen. And then when I found out from real salespeople that are millionaires that they're like, no, you have to be as honest and hardworking as possible in order to, be successful, true success, because, people that are fake, that'll catch up to them, right? So back to embedded commands, right? Second part of here. To effectively use embedded commands, NLP practitioners often employ techniques such as vocal tonality, pacing, and emphasis to make an embedded command stand out within a sentence. So you don't have to think about this now. So that would be the emphasis on the word now. The goal is to bypass the listener's conscious resistance or critical thinking and communicate directly with the unconscious mind. So influencing thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. That's the whole goal. You want to get past the part that's got their guard up, still be able to say what you got to say, but it hits in a way that, it goes past the guard, right? So that's how embedded commands kind of work. However, it's important to use such techniques ethically. Of course, we want to be ethical. We want win-win situations and responsible, respecting to, the well-being of both parties. So again, with that being said, we're not out here to like swindle anybody. No, we still have a goal of, building and growing a business while being ethical all at the same time. So again, some embedded commands. Like I have a whole list and a whole training inside of the Facebook group. Once again, www.coachscottking.com. And then when you meet someone for the first time, what are some different things that you could say? So first of all, you want to like qualify. Do you need, right? Need embedded command, need a DJ, right? That would be a direct suggestion for something you could say, or you could do a negation, right? I wouldn't think about telling you to book today, right? I wouldn't think so. A negation, right? So in NLP, they teach that like you can't think of a purple elephant without thinking about it and then drawing a line through it. So that's called a negation. Even though I wasn't directly telling you to sign today, you don't have to think about signing today, right? Or you can do a double bind, right? Another direct suggestion where two things lead to the same outcome, right? So you don't have to think about signing today. You can read it over and sign tomorrow, or maybe even take a couple days, add a few things to the contract and then sign then. So all three of those options were all for them to sign a contract. And yet when you put those three options out there, the subconscious mind thinks about those three things because you told them to think about these three different things. There could be other options like other DJs and other, services and things like that, right? But you gave them three options, so they'll think about those three options. Another thing to think about too is that the mind doesn't like an open loop, right? So once you make the sentence, then they were going to figure out the best way to close it, whatever those outcomes or answers or resources they need to get to in order to make that happen. And then, of course, understanding the different types of embedded commands, which you could do cause and effect, which is the more that you think about this offer, the more it will make sense. And what that does is, it puts the thought in their mind. The more they think about the offer, the more they'll figure out how to make that make sense within, the deal that you put in front of them. So, again, I have a whole blueprint of how I run a Zoom sales call. I have a huge list or 12 different items on this list that you don't have to think about now that you could use within a Zoom sales call. And again, the whole deal here is to be ethical, and you want to build your company. So you should be able to use language to the best of your ability so that you can, build your company. And if you're one of those people that really want to work hard, because none of this stuff is easy, right? I could just be showing you this. This is all, surface level information, right? I could tell you to do this, right? Here it is. And then you still got to go out there and practice it. And then, I personally think about my company as a conveyor belt, right? So when I was thinking about Jordan Belfort, which was the last video, I was like, man, that guy was really smooth with his conversation. And I was like, oh, the only way that he's better than me is because can you think about how many, of those calls he had to get that so perfected, right? So when you want to think about that within your business too, when you're introduced to ideas like this, that just realize that it's going to take practice in order to make it, the way that you want it to be. It's kind of like, this is a book I read recently, right? So Brian Tracy, I think. Anyway, he says, or in the beginning of his book, it says that, treadmills, we're not going to argue that the treadmill is going to get you the result that you want. But the more you use the treadmill, the faster you'll get to the result you want. So this is tried, tested, and proven, and yet the more you practice it, the better you'll be at it. See, cause and effect. The more you practice, the better you'll be, and the better you'll be, the better you get. All right, so that's an introduction to embedded commands. You guys are amazing. If you want to know more, I'll leave a link in the description, and come grow with me. All right, peace.